I'm Elizabeth Henson. Welcome to the Messy Success Podcast, where I'm helping creative dreamers and overachievers tackle business and life. After 6 years of being my own boss, I finally unraveled a tiny bit of what it takes to survive in this amazing world of being an overly creative entrepreneur. I'm your business bestie, here to help you with all those big ideas and to normalize some of the day-to-day struggles that we all share. My mission is simple. I want more women to make a living doing what they love and to feel good about themselves in the process. The best way to start? We can't do it alone. So welcome. I hope you'll hang out with me here where it's totally okay to be messy. All right. Hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another week of the Messy Success Podcast. I have an amazing friend with you that I'm going to share today. Her name is Erika Mills. She's a photographer here in Virginia Beach, but she's also multi-passionate. She has multiple revenue streams, and that is exactly why I wanted to bring her on today. So Erika is so well known in our area. Everybody loves her. People love following her on Instagram with all of her self-care and beauty tips. She has 2 adorable boys. She's married to a firefighter, and she has her thriving photography business. She started a little bit before me, 2 years before me, I guess. And she has teamed up with a hair company called Monate in the last 2 years, and she is just rocking it. And, as I have started to dip my toes into the oil industry, and I am so passionate about young living, I was very scared of any type of multi-level marketing or direct sales. And I just kept thinking about her and her success and how she has really rocked out this multiple revenue stream type of life. And for some reason, having a friend that kind of paved the way for this gave me a little bit of permission to not feel so intimidated, to at least give it a shot, at least do my research, at least do my homework. And I'm so happy that I did. And I know that she's so happy that she did too. And we're going to dive deep. And I remember before she even tried the product. So we're going to go back in time. You're going to love this. If you have any interest in having more than one revenue stream or possibly quitting your day job to follow some of these other paths, you're going to love this. So I'm so glad to share Erika with you. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right. Hey, Erika, how's it going? I'm so glad you're here.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited too. When I just posted on Instagram that I was going to be interviewing like 3 of our girls, like either in the creative network or whatever, we're like, oh my God, I love her photography. I love her. So they are all excited too.
Oh, that's such a great group of girls you've got there. I'm really excited to be a part of them too.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do, how you would describe all the different things that you do.
Okay, well, first, I have a photography business, Erika Mills Photography. And that really focuses on weddings and portraits. So I have that photography business. I've had it for, my oldest is 7, so 8 years now, which seems so crazy. And then about 15 months ago, I decided to kind of partner with this hair care company, just honestly because I wanted a discount on products. At the time, I worked during the day, so it was never like a business. So I have that. My husband and I run a print and embroidery company from our house as well. So you can just call us serial entrepreneurs.
I love that though. Yes, I love that. And you know what's funny is I remember, I think it was just in your Instagram stories, the first time you posted about Monate, right? That's how you say it?
Yeah, that's how you say it. That's right.
And you were just like, has anyone tried this? I think I'm going to try this product. Like I literally remember before you actually tried it.
Yes. And I didn't even know if I was saying it correctly because my friend Ryan, she just sent me samples. Like I had no clue about the product. And I only had one person say, oh yeah, I've tried it. And everyone else was like, just report back to us. We know you've shared stuff before.
That's so funny. So tell us a little bit about like that journey and what that looked like for you.
So like I said, I signed up to get the products just at a discount. They had a really great incentive going on that month. It's kind of like how I signed up when I did oils and brought them into my house. I just I'm kind of a girl who wants to jump all in with things. I'd rather have it all at my disposal versus having to wait and schedule orders and everything. So I signed up. I had a lot of stuff going on with my hair, got all the products I needed, and that was really it for me. About 2 weeks into it, I started to notice a change. Somebody mentioned compensation to me. And from that is where I thought, I'm just going to share this and kind of see where it goes. And if it goes good, that's great. And if not, that's great too. It was never going to be this is what I'm going to do with my life plan. And so I've kind of just been on that journey and ride since then.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever done any kind of, like direct sales or MLMs before that?
So no, not that I've actually shared it with the interest in making an income. I have joined, I've had stuff with Beachbody back when it was really like the only at-home workout thing. I did the oils, but really for at-home use. So I've joined them in that sense, but never because it was a business.
Yeah. And I think that like what I've noticed with the oils is like when you love a product so much, that's when it becomes easy to share about it. Like I think a lot of people just try something and then when it becomes something that they just really love talking about and sharing about, then they're like, "Okay, let me like hear what the compensation plan is all about."
Right. And I think that is what's so important about it. There's such a fine line between sharing something because it's an income, but also sharing because you trust the product and your audience trusts you. And so that's always been so important to me that, the things I'm sharing, and I've been approached to share things before. They're actually things I use in my home and then I feel very confident and comfortable standing behind.
Yes, exactly. And tell us a little bit about like, did you have any fears around like diving into this publicly? Like, this actual entrepreneur, and then, okay, now I'm actually partnering with a company and I'm representing a brand that I didn't create, but that I absolutely love. Like, did you have any hesitations or like fear of judgment?
Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. So I definitely had faux what, fear of what others think. Um, and that really just goes back to like the type of personality I am, like where I fall in my family lineup and words of affirmation being my love language. I totally was scared of what people would think. But I was also, when I launched my photography business, scared of what others would think. Because you're starting something new. You're worried, how will people interpret it? Will I share it the correct way online? Things like that. How am I going to be represented? So I had definitely the hesitation of what others would think. I had a fear of how was I going to balance one more thing that at the time I worked during the day. I worried what my boss would think if he saw me sharing this on social media. Would he start to think, okay, she is definitely looking for another job? But honestly, my excitement and the vision of the potential of where it could go so far outweighed those fears. I thought I would much rather try this and get down the road and say, I tried it, it wasn't for me, than be down the road and say, I wonder what would have happened if I did this.
Yeah, especially if you were going to spend all that time using the products, right?
Right. Yeah, I was already using them and my kids were using them, my dog was using them, my husband was using, I mean, we were all using them. So I thought, well, maybe there's people like me. Maybe there are these women who have postpartum hair loss issues really bad. They have this dry hair and things like that. And I thought, isn't that the whole purpose of like social media, is to connect with people over our struggles and our triumphs? And so that's really why I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to go for this. And then the more I learned about the company and kind of the heartbeat of them, it really lines up so much with so many of my values in my photography business and personal life. It was almost like a sign of, why are you not doing this?
Yeah, I mean, and like honestly, have you seen any change in your photography business, or any of your other ventures since you started this?
Oh my gosh, yes. So they connect, like they cross share so much. I have clients who were brides, and just portrait clients that are using Monate. And then I also have had people who started with Monate who have supported me in my photography business. And it's really allowed me to open both businesses to such a wider audience. And so they're very supportive and cohabitable in my life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so much. Like when I kind of got interested in Young Living, and it was the same thing where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be ordering these products every single month anyways. So even
Right.
if I just, get one person interested, then that's going to cover some of the products that I'm buying. So it kind of became a
Yeah.
no-brainer. But I remember thinking about you immediately and your success that you've had with Monate and how you've done it all from one place and talked to basically the same audience and how that has worked for you. And that was like such like an inspiration, but also felt like it kind of gave me permission or validation that like this is okay.
Yeah, and it is. And I wish that so many other people could see it for that and that it is okay. And we don't have to live in our heads of having these conversations that honestly probably never occur in real life. All these ones we fear people are saying, they never even happen. So I'm glad you were able to do that too.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's been so fun, and for me it kind of feels like a break from being my own boss where, working with direct sales or MLMs, you are technically still your own boss and you make your own
Right. Yeah.
your own rules and your own hours, but like I don't have to create a website from scratch. I didn't have to create branding from scratch. Like it became this thing that I could talk about with women that wasn't necessarily business obsessed.
Right. And how nice is it that someone just gives you all the marketing materials? Like that is my favorite that I just log in and in my email, there's all these shareables that I don't have to spend hours creating and tweaking. And I think, that's what's so important is people, MLMs get such a bad rap and I totally can understand why, because there are people who, in my opinion, just are not doing it correctly. But there also is so much freedom. And for me, I was able to take so much of my education in photography and apply it to this, as well as like be opened up to a whole new world of business information that can go back to my photography business. So again, it's just, they really do go hand in hand if you start listing things out.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Um, and I just love like, I don't know, just seeing the way that you post both and you bring it all together so seamlessly. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
And you have a Facebook group for your Monate stuff, right?
Right. So I do keep it somewhat separate. And I respect that there are people who follow my photography business because they're vendors I've met down the road, they're past clients, they're hopeful, interested clients. And I want to respect that they came to that, came to my Instagram for that reason. So I like to drop it in there. It's not something that shows up every day on my Instagram. And I have a separate Instagram for my like personal life anyway that I can post what I want when I want. And I don't feel this push to have a beautiful feed of just showing off my gorgeous clients. And then I have the Facebook group so people can opt in. If they want to see it, it's there and they're free to leave if it doesn't interest them anymore.
Yes, absolutely. I've kind of done a similar thing where I have a Facebook group where I dig really deep about the oils, but every now and then I'll just kind of invite people to that
Oh,
um, location. And also, I was going to say, I feel like one of the biggest questions that I get or fears is that I think people still think that MLMs are like, what was that? The old like knife company and like these places where you
oh
have
my
to
gosh, yeah.
I know where you have to invest all this money on the front end and people like don't believe me when I say, no, you actually don't have to invest anything. You just have to buy the product and love the product. And I'm sure that Monate is the same way, where all you have to do to qualify to earn money is just to buy the product and believe in the product.
That's 100% correct. And so one of my biggest things that I hope I am working to break down the barrier on is that MLMs do not equal a pyramid scheme. This is like one of my super passionate things about. So the whole thing is a pyramid scheme is illegal in the United States, which means none of these companies could operate in the United States if they were a true pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes go back to like what our parents kind of grew up in, where The person at the bottom paid a lot of money, but didn't get anything. Only the person at the top did. And that's not the case with MLMs or direct sales companies. I paid money and I got product. So just like if I went to Target and walked in and gave them $100, which I do way too often, I got product. I'm walking out with product. That's it. That's all it is. And that's how I know that's how the oils are too. So I like to remind people, okay, I know they get a bad rap, but this is really how they are once you start digging in and educating yourself on it.
Yes. And there's so much great education and resources that once I was like, let me just do some research and figure out what this is all about. Like I had all the education that I needed at my disposal, which is what I do tell people. Like it kind of does matter like who is your mentor or your sponsor, because you just want to be sure that they are going to like path the road of success for you. And, you know, not everybody has that entrepreneurial mindset where they want to make it easier for everyone else. And I was so lucky that I'm on such an amazing team that I can go get answers to anything that I possibly need. And it made transitioning into the sales or like partnering with the company like so seamless. Like, do you feel like it's the same way for you guys?
I do feel like it's really important to connect with the person that you are going to be on their team, because you do spend a lot of time talking and getting to know each other. Especially, I tell all my new partners, like the first 90 days, we're pretty much going to talk every day because you need that support. It's like information overload, and it's my job to help you. That's a responsibility I take when I open up that, hey, I'm taking on 5 people to coach this month. On the flip side, my favorite thing about Monat, and I'm pretty confident Young Living's the same way, is that should the girl that I sign up under just decide she doesn't want to do it anymore, for whatever reason she's out, there are so many resources that the company and cross teammates have put together that there's really no excuse to not be able to educate yourself on products, on tactics, on just even the world of network marketing. And so I love that while yes, it's really important to like the person you're doing business with, right? That's important regardless of the business you're doing, that if that person just ghosts you, there's so many resources. All you have to do is be able to get onto the internet. And I
Yes.
love it so much. And I love the world that opens up to so many, mostly women, because women make up the majority of multi-level marketing partners. But I love that it opens up the doors to so many people, and it doesn't discriminate against your age or your income bracket at the time, like nothing like that.
Yes, absolutely. So when people come to you and they say like, "Oh, I think it might just be too expensive," like what kind of tools do you have to like overcome some of those like limited beliefs around pricing when it comes to products like Monat or Young Living too? They're both so similar.
Yeah. Okay. So the most important thing is that I like to put it in perspective. So when someone comes and says, "Oh, your shampoo is $35," my response is, "Okay, it is. It's $35. However, how much water is in this?" So for us, we have a very low. Our products are super concentrated. Versus before, when I was using I won't say who I was using, but my salon product, I was using about a half a dollar size for the amount of hair I have. With Monat, I'm using more of like a nickel. So on the front end, is it more expensive? It is. On the long term and cost per use, it's way, way decreased. Not to mention it ships right to me. So all of the additional spending I would do if I was going to Ulta, right? Or I was picking it up at the salon that I would do has really cut down. So in the long term, we have saved so much money by having it shipped directly to us, and getting more life out of products than if I bought a lower price point, but I'm also sacrificing the quality of the product.
Yes, and I don't even think $35 is that bad. Honestly, I've spent more than that on salon shampoo just
Oh
to
my
take care
God.
of my color.
So before this, I am a person, I don't have a problem to a point spending money on quality products if they're gonna, they have the longevity and meet my needs. So for me, it wasn't that hard of a switch. But yes, if you're someone who's purchasing, your shampoo at like the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Walmart, like the bottom shelf, yeah, it is going to take a switch for you. But that shampoo and stuff has so many issues that, whether it's not meeting your hair needs, whether it's like sacrificing your health needs, there's so many things that to me are worth the trade-off.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, once you partner with the company, you're essentially getting all your products for free because you're making the money back.
Right. And once you start using them and it's how people are with oils and what's the big thing? Oh, like the CBD oil. Once you start using it, you see how easy it is to share it. And that's what I tell people. Like, I don't sell it. I don't, cold message people and say, you need to try my shampoo. I just say, hey, I'm sharing this because it works for me. It worked for my husband. It's worked for my sisters and my girlfriends. Maybe it'll work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why not try? That's so awesome. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, like, I know there's a ton of people listening that probably either have tried MLMs and not had success, or maybe they're a little bit interested. Like, what advice would you have to someone that has either dipped their toe in or might be interested, but they're kind of terrified, like me a couple months ago?
Yeah. Okay. So first, I think you need to ask yourself, why are you afraid? Are you afraid because you're letting others' perception of you stop you? In which case I would tell you, you can never leave your house because people are going to think whatever they want to think based on whatever you choose to present them. Regardless, whether I'm saying Target again, just because it's across the street. In Target, if you go to dinner, if you do an Insta story, that is just the nature of anything presenting to another person. So is it the fear of what others are thinking of you or perceiving of you? Are you afraid because you just lack the knowledge in one, the business structure of network marketing, or two, the products? Are you afraid because it's not the normal? So like you really need to identify what is that little thing, that little voice in your head saying. The other flip side is, have you considered the actual business that you're going to partner with? Is it a product you can use? Where in terms of longevity is the company? How saturated is the market? There's so many factors that really you should sit down and consider. And I have had plenty of people on my team. Most people who have been open to the idea of network marketing are open to it again in the future. They've either seen success of others, they had moderate success, or they just like the whole business setup. So there are people who come over all the time and see different success. And I really do believe it's a mixture of business savvy, knowing where the business is in terms of growth, expansion, product development, and market saturation.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're comfortable, can you tell us a little bit about like your success? Because I think I saw that you were like ranked on the East Coast or something like that, right?
I was. Yeah. Okay, sure. I'm comfortable sharing it. So, let me go back. So when I started, again, I bought my products in October of 2017. There was just a great incentive that month. And that was it. I started selling and sharing because Monat does just kind of this, insane bonus period of where the front part of your joining period is really front loaded with bonuses, in which case at that time was Christmas time for me. And Christmas time is also the time that photography is winding down in our area for a while because of the weather. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to run and kind of like Super Mario Brothers it and collect all these bonuses and then just be done. Like, I don't really want to do this. Photography is so busy next year. This isn't really what I want to do. And honestly, just by being so proud of the business in the beginning and not being scared of it, it gave me this momentum to keep moving forward. And once you start moving forward and people are joining you, it almost becomes even more exciting to keep growing. So that's what I did. I just had an organized daily task list of little things I would do. And when I say little, I'm not saying I work 8 hours on this business ever. I don't think I've ever worked 8 hours a day on this business. 1 to 2 hours, occasionally 3 hours if it's like end of the month kind of thing. And by June of that year, I was making enough to quit my 9 to 5 day job, doing like office management work for an outdoor outfitters company.
That's amazing. I don't think I realized, like, I don't think I had put two and two together that that the Monet was one of the reasons you were able to quit.
It was. Yep, it was. It had more than replaced my monthly take home pay from my day job. And it allowed me to also not put our kids in summer camp, which if you know summer camp prices, you know they're atrocious.
Hmm.
So it kind of like doubled down on us that we were making more during the day and not having to pay the summer camp expense so that I could actually get to be home with my kids, which has always been something I've wanted to do and just didn't know that we could make it work.
That is amazing. That is so inspiring because I mean, I just started, with Young Living a couple of months ago, and they have the same thing where as soon as people sign up with you the first 3 months, you're making significantly more. And I love that they do that
Right.
because they want you to feel successful and rewarded, for your
Right.
hard work. And I think like the second month that I got a paycheck, I made like $225, which totally more than covered the products that I have paid for. And I was like, oh my gosh, all I had to do is share. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh
There
my
have
gosh.
been numerous times I have gotten just my monthly paycheck. So we get paid every Friday and then additionally a monthly bonus check. There have been multiple times I have opened that monthly bonus check and email and just started crying because I could not believe that this opportunity had been presented to me and that I almost said no to it because I was so uneducated on it. So it's been just the most incredible blessing in my life in our like personal family home. We've been able to help. We've been able to donate to the church more. I have big goals this year to hit income levels for sponsoring, for additionally sponsoring children. And it's just so exciting that it not only helps me, but it helps other people.
Yeah, that's so awesome. That's so inspiring. And I feel like you do such a good job of like it not taking over like your presence in your social media with the oils. Sometimes I feel like, okay, well, I'll never be all oils. Like that'll never
Right.
be all that I do. Whereas like the people who are really, really high ranked, I feel like that's all that they do. But like you're such an inspiration of somebody who does it successfully, but it's not like I'm Erica and this is the one thing I do.
Right. Well, and I don't wash my hair all day, every day,
Right.
but oils, I mean, I have some going right now next to me. You can move from room to room and constantly change them. And I think it's really just about finding out what people want to hear from you, and what they don't want to hear.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So in the beginning, you mentioned like three total businesses. So your photography,
Mm-hmm.
the Monate, and then the embroidery business.
Yeah.
Like, how in the world do you guys keep it all organized? My people love hearing workflow tips, organizational things.
Okay. Okay. So what I also left off is that Kenny is a firefighter. So he has like a full-time, job with retirement, health benefits kind of thing. Um, so between us, we have 4 jobs. We had 5 when I decided to start building Monate. So for me, I am by nature an organized person. I am very type A. I appreciate lists. So it's something that it does come naturally to me to an extent. There are things I've learned because I've always, since I was a teenager, worked for small businesses. I've been so fortunate to work for small businesses that allowed me insight into their like back office kind of thing. How did they manage employees? How did they run books? Things like that. And if you've never worked for a small business, it can be really hard to understand and grasp a lot of those concepts, honestly. So that is kind of, what I have to preface it by saying is that I do have a history with it. For me, staying organized is making sure I prioritize what needs to be done that week. So I, one, have time blocking set aside, which means from 9 to 1, I'm working on this. From 1 to 3, I'm working on this. And from 4 to 8, I'm not working on my business because my kids are home. We need to make dinner. We need to do homework, bedtime, bath, all that kind of thing. So time blocking is huge because it forces me to prioritize what needs to be done before my time essentially runs out. And that really goes back to when I worked at a dance studio because obviously it closed at night and I had to have stuff done before a certain time of night because people went to bed or I couldn't be on the phone with people. So time blocking was huge then. The other thing for me, and sounds so silly, is keeping separate email accounts for each business.
Oh, so smart.
I know. Okay. So the reason I do this is I keep Gmail accounts because then I have a Google Drive for each business, which is so great because if I'm working in photography and I get an email with a girl who's sharing her hair problems with me, I'm not instantly distracted to go help her. I don't even see that until I log into that email account. So keeping separate emails is really a huge thing for staying organized. This is great too, because if I think of something, it's 8 o'clock, I'm not working, I can take a screenshot of whatever it is. Say someone said, hey, will you message me information on wedding prices? I can take a screenshot of it, email it over to my photography business, and then I can see it that morning when I quote clock in to work photography.
Also so smart. I'm like, how did I not know these tips after we've been friends all this time? Oh my gosh.
I just did a whole Zoom training for my Monate girls. I shouldn't say girls because I have a guy on my team. My Monate partners on how to stay organized. So I use separate email accounts, time blocking, and then I also use the notes section in my phone.
Yes.
And I have a photography one and then I have a Monate one. And I love that because it talks to my MacBook. So I can truly put my phone on silent and hide it from sight, but still have access to all the notes I took, the day before, the week before, things I've copy and pasted that I wanted to remember.
So smart. I'm like, my notes go crazy on my computer and I use it on my phone too. I started, sometimes I get my best ideas like at night, unfortunately, like I either wake up and I can't sleep or I can't fall asleep. And I've started just putting them in the notes section of my phone and then boom, I'm able to fall asleep because I got it out of my head and onto, but like I was never good at the whole pencil paper because the lights are turned off.
I know. And, if you leave your paper downstairs, I used to do the pencil paper by my bed years ago. But if I leave it downstairs, then I went to work during the time, then I didn't have it when I could work on my lunch break. And so having electronics that communicate to each other is crucial.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And the separate email address thing, I'm definitely going to have to do that for sure.
It's so much easier. And, it really allows me to not cross over worlds. So if someone comes and they have zero interest in wedding photography, I have a market partner who lives in the UK. She's not contacting me because she wants her wedding done. She's been married and has kids. Then she can come and be in that space, how that space is represented.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So good. Okay, this has been awesome. I'm like, I love when I do these interviews and I myself am over here taking notes, learning things. So I know you're such an advocate of self-care in general. And I feel like I recently kind of jumped into this. And a lot of it was just the pressure of being an entrepreneur and owning my own business and taking better care of myself. I never really regularly took care of my hair until my grays got out of control. I never went and got facials until my skin got out of control. But now I am completely hooked. So you're such a self-care guru. What would you say to somebody that has all the excuses? That's I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I've got too many kids. What would you say to that person?
Oh gosh. Okay. So you don't have the money. You do have the money. You're just spending it on other things. And that for me, so I truly believe in taking care of yourself. I always have my one thing is I don't work out probably as much as I should, but I'm getting there. Is to really see where is your money going? Are you showing up at TJ Maxx every 10 days and dropping $85 to $100 on clothes? Or are you overspending on your grocery budget and then throwing a lot of food away? You likely do have the money to start small and invest. You just are spending it in other places that long term probably aren't going to matter to you. I think a lot of us got an eye opener when this Marie Kondo show came out with how much stuff we have that doesn't spark joy in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I have kind of like always been like a quality person. I still love to go to TJ Maxx and Target and buy a couple pieces that are maybe trendier and aren't going to stand the test of time. But as I've gotten older, I've really realized like I need to kind of invest here or there. So that's my first thing with the money objection is where's your money really going? If you truly, truly do not have the means in your monthly budget because maybe you're paying down debt and so you really can't justify it, is there a way you could make a little extra money for it? Is there a way you could squeeze out like $25 a month and put it in a jar? Of it, like see it in a jar adding up so that you can treat yourself. I truly believe like when we take care of ourselves, we are just much better people to the people around us, be it our kids, our spouses, our friends, or even the people we do business with. If you say you don't have time, I'd really encourage you to investigate like how much time would it truly take out of your week. You know, for me, a facial takes 2 hours, but it's only done every 3 months. So it's not something, I'm 2 hours, I can set aside 100 days before an appointment. And so that's really the thing. You need to really find out like, what is your hurdle? Has no one taught you how important self-care is? Please let me be the one to teach you that self-care and how you present yourself is not important because of how other people are going to think of you. It's important because when you look in that mirror, you should be really proud of the person looking back at you. And that's important for me because I'm a big sister and I've always wanted my younger siblings to be proud of me.
Aw.
From like the very get-go. And now I have children and I have a husband and I want him to be proud of me. It's really important that not only am I proud of myself, but the people I love so much are proud of me too.
Yes. And like you said, you show up differently. Like to me, that is
Yeah.
hands down the game changer is that I noticed that I show up better for my business when I feel good about myself because I'll hop on the stories in a second because I get my lashes and my brows tinted. So I don't even need to have makeup on. Like I get out of the shower and my face is still there.
Yeah,
And like,
that's so true.
yes. And I show up for my business better. And it sounds so silly. And I bet you nobody on the other side of that phone is even really noticing what I look like. All they're noticing is that, God, you really show up. And how do you have so much
Right.
confidence? Like, and to me, it's worth it. It's worth it to pay for, that the lash tinting and the eyebrow tinting. If that
Right.
means that I'm going to show up better for my business, which means I'm going to make more money.
Exactly. That's why I went and had my eyebrows microbladed. Like I hate that idea, but it was worth it to suffer through the pain for like 2 hours and be good for 18 months. And I don't have to think about it because it's also one less thing I have to do in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I am all about some shortcuts with now that, Maverick's in school, my oldest is in school, that we are running multiple businesses. Like I am all about working smarter, not harder. So if it's saving me, 90 seconds, that time adds up over the course of a week, a month, a year.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I pretty much skip the mascara 6 out of 7 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's so small and I don't feel like I look, like I don't know. I just think it's been one of the best things that I've done for myself and for my business. And like you said, scheduling it ahead of time, that is so key for me. And that's how I get these things done is that I make sure that my next appointment is made before I leave the salon because I know
Yeah.
myself and
Yep.
I will 6 months will go by and I'll be like, oh, I never made that appointment. I never made that appointment. But if it's made ahead of time and it's on my calendar, I know I'll show up for it.
That is 100% the secret is committing to it before you've left because one, you're riding like the highest high of it, right? Like you feel the best, your skin feels amazing, your hair looks the best. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm coming back. See you in 2 months, see you in 3 months. So committing to it beforehand, before you leave is really important. I do that with everything.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so hooked that I'm like, I will freaking sell my car before I give up my spa day.
I know.
Oh my gosh. And it's been hard. Like I've had a little bit of guilt surrounding it. Like, are people going to think that I'm bragging? Like I've definitely struggled with some of that. And I'm trying to, like, again, you're one of those people that inspires me to feel more comfortable in that space.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You should never brag or feel like you're bragging about spending money on yourself when you are working hard to make a living. So that is like, I work very hard. And if I want to treat, like my husband and I both do, we work really, really hard. So if we want to treat ourselves, for me, it's a facial. For Kenny, it's buying a new fishing rod. Like if we want to treat ourselves to that, we work really hard. We're not sitting around being supported by other means and just kind of like drifting through the day. And so I'm totally okay with knowing I get a 2-hour mental break where I have to lay there with my eyes closed, cannot check my phone. And that is like when I get some really good ideas because nothing else is talking to me. And I'll leave my appointments with voice memos because I can't really make cohesive sentences yet, but I just have all these ideas swirling and I can listen to them later when I'm in like my quiet spot and can kind of put pen to paper and work through things.
Yes. And that's such a good point. That's kind of unrelated to any of this, but like I get my absolute best business ideas when I'm disconnected. So,
Mm-hmm.
like on a walk or, in the shower, like I said, laying
Yeah.
at night, like when I disconnect from my device and especially from social media or anything that is just kind of distracting my brain,
Mm-hmm.
then I always get my best ideas. So I know
Yeah.
it's hard to put the phone down, but sometimes when we force ourselves to, it can actually pay off.
It is hard, but you allow your brain to go down the rabbit hole and just start making these connections to things that you really can't when you're working during the day and you're trying to complete tasks because you're really focused on A to B, B to C, C to D. But when you're laying there, you just can jump from idea to idea and kind of work through things a little better.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, this has been so good. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to add or share that we touched on?
I would love to just encourage whoever's listening to this that if you are unhappy with where you are, or you just have this inkling inside of you, like there can be more, there has to be more. I see other people doing it, that you can do it. And if you don't have the support system or the circle cheering you on, you have to get a new circle because people, and I shared this at the Creative Network, people who are doing and being successful will never talk down on other people trying to be successful because they are so happy that somebody else has seen it. And that is so important for me to be able to encourage people and cheer you on, whatever that looks like. If it's an MLM, if it's starting your own business, if it's truly pivoting in life and doing something totally different from what you're doing now, you can do it. You just have to start. Like we were watching the Christopher Robin movie a couple weeks ago, and Winnie the Pooh says, like this is so funny, quoting Disney again, the way I get to where I'm going is to walk away from where I've been.
Yes.
And that you don't have to overcomplicate it. You really do just have to start one little thing, one little thing, one little thing. And so I hope this podcast encourages whoever's listening, like you can do it. You just have to start. And if you need a cheerleader, Liz and I are happy to cheer you on.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about the circles because when I read that statistic that like you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And, if you look at the bank accounts, they're probably all very similar and this and that. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, this is so true. So I've been really making such an effort to surround myself with women who are where I want to be. And if that means that I pay for it, I pay for it.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's so important. Think about like back in life when you've been hanging around with people who are super negative and how it really does influence your mood. I know there was a period in my life where I had people who were just really complaining more so than I would. And it really did. It would affect my mood. I would leave meetings or lunches or work and just feel so heavy, and just changing what I was feeding myself in terms of what I was listening to music wise, conversation wise, just made such a big difference in how I started thinking about myself, about my business, about goals. And so it's so true. That circle is so important.
Yes, absolutely. So important. This was so awesome. Okay, now tell everyone where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Erika Mills Photo, and Erika is with a K. If you want to keep up with my personal life and my children and maybe my dog, You can find me at Kai and Kane, KAIANDKANE, and over on Facebook at Erika Mills Photography.
Yay. Okay. And you only have your photography actual website right now, right? What is that?
Yeah. So that's erikamills.com. And again, Erika is ERIKA.
Okay. I know we probably have quite a few photographers listening too, and they're probably like, where was all the photography tips?
I know. And I would love to share more one-on-one. For me, I feel like there are so many fantastic resources out there. I'm not sure I could add something new, but I'm always happy. If people have questions one-on-one, then let me know.
Yeah. And like you said, you've been doing it 8 years. Like we started, I guess I was a little bit after you because I just finished my 6th year and we met at a workshop. And I just love that you are constantly like continuing to grow. Like I've never once seen you like plateau out. It's always like you're always moving forward. So
yeah, I just like to be a slow cooker. I'm like low and slow. I take one thing and try and be really good at it before I add another thing.
Yes. James Wedmore says build one bridge at a time.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm working on that. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad that you were able to do this.
This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thanks, girl.
Bye.
Bye. See, you guys, isn't Erika just awesome? I'm so glad we were able to have her on the show today. Thank you guys for listening. I know it was a long one, but so good, right? So many takeaways. I feel like her and I could just talk about business all day long. So let us know what you thought about the episode. Did it motivate you? Did it make you feel a little bit less afraid of multi-level marketing or multiple revenue streams? Give us a shout out on Instagram. You can tag me at elizabeth.henson or use the Messy Success Podcast hashtag. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, you can always join my private Facebook group, the Messy Squad. Erika is in there as well. So we'll get a fun conversation going about today's episode and she can answer all of your questions. So we hope to see you there. Don't forget, you can go to elizabethhensonphotos.com/podcast or elizabethhensonphotos.com/27 for episode 27. Thanks so much, Erika, for being here. Such a good episode, and I will see you guys next week.